Okay, so the topic is a quadratic equation. What is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation in which the highest power of unknown is 2. For example, if we have as squared, if we have as squared plus bs plus c equals to 0. Now this is an example of a quadratic equation in which the highest power of unknown is 2. So now for a quadratic equation like this, then a can never be equals to 0. Why? Because if a equals 0, the equation becomes 0s squared plus bs plus c equals 0, and this will be bs plus c equals 0. That means if a equals to 0, the equation will reduce to a linear equation, so it won't be a quadratic equation again. So a must be a number, so it cannot be 0. Now the power can never be a negative number like this, and the power cannot be a fraction like this. So that means power of x cannot be negative and cannot be fraction. It must be a whole number, and that is 2 for you to say it is a quadratic equation. Now the next thing here is we have methods we can use to solve quadratic equation. So for now we have 4 methods. That is factorization method, completing the square method, formula method, and graphical method. Now those are the 4 methods we can use to solve quadratic, but let's start with the first one, which is factorization method. So number 1, so we are doing factorization. So factorization method. So example, factorize s squared plus 4s plus 4. So let's say we want to factorize this. Now to factorize, notice there are 3 terms here. This is first term, the second term, and the third term. So, and the coefficient of s here is s squared here is 1. That means if I write 2 here, the coefficient of s squared is 2. If I write 3 there, the coefficient of s squared is 3, like that. So but the one we are doing now is coefficient of 1. Now to factorize, we have s squared plus 4s plus 4. Now what is the first term here? The first term here is 1s squared. What is the second term here? The second term is plus 4s, that is carry the sign along, plus 4s. What is the third term? The third term is plus 4. Now those are the 3 terms. So to do a quadratic equation using factorization, you will multiply the first term by the last term. Now if you multiply the first term by the last term, this will be like 1s squared times 4. That will be 4s squared. Now the middle term is 4x. Now we call those two product and sum. That means to do a quadratic, you need to know what is product and what is the sum. Now the product is the, product means times. So if I say find the product of 3 and 2, that means it's simply 3 times 2. So product means multiplication. So that means if I multiply the first and the last term, that will be 1s squared times 4. Carry the sign along, that will be plus 4s squared, meaning 1s squared times plus 4 that is plus 4s squared. Carry the sign along. So the next one, the middle term here is your sum. So what's the middle term? We have plus 4s. Carry the sign along. You see that the is plus 4s you have there in the middle. So now that means the middle is plus 4s. Again, product is what? Multiply the first term by the last term. Why the middle term is the sum. So let's say I give you a question like, let me say 2s squared plus 7s plus 10. Now in this case, what is your product and what is your sum? Now product is the multiply the first term by the last term. Here the first term is 2s squared multiplied by the last term 10. 2 times 10 is 20. That will be plus 20s squared. Now the middle one here is your sum. That is plus 7s. So that is the first thing in quadratic. You need to know how to find the product and the sum. Now let's say the question is s squared plus 6s plus 7. What is your product and sum? The product is the first and the last term. That means my product here is plus 7s squared. That is this times this. Now what of the sum? The middle one is your sum. So what's my sum here? Plus 6x. Again, let's say the question is 3s squared plus 6s plus 9. Now what is my product here? Product is the first term multiplied by the last term. So that means 3s squared times 9. That will be 27s squared. Now what's the middle number? The middle number is the sum. That's plus 6s. Now that's what we'll be doing to find product and sum. So let's move on. Now in this question we have s squared plus 4s plus 4. That means the first term here times the last term here. That will be our product. That is 1s squared times plus 4. That is plus 4s squared. Now the middle number is the sum plus 4x. So that's the first thing you need to know if you want to solve question using factorization method. Now if you know your product and sum, since we know product simply means multiplication, while sum simply means addition. Now find any two numbers you can multiply that will give you the product. That is plus 4s squared, and you get the sum plus 4s. Now to find the product, what are the numbers you can multiply that will give you 4? Now you can ignore this s squared, just focus on the number here. So 4. Which number can you which two numbers can you multiply together that will give you 4? Now to find the numbers, you can use LCM to know all the numbers. That is the LCM of 4. You have 2. 2 in 4, 2. Again 2. 2 in 2, 1. Like that. So that means to find the multiplication of 4, you can say 2 times 2, 4. Again 4 times 1, 4. So all the numbers you can use, they are there already. So now the numbers that will give us 4 can be, that means 4 can be 2 times 2 equals to 4. Again 4 times 1 equals to 4. Know that in multiplication, if you multiply any number by 1, it's still the same number. So in quadratic using factorization, you need to always consider the number times 1, so it will still give you the number. So now what are the numbers that can give us 4 now? That means 2 times 2, 4. So that means the first number is 2, the second number is also 2. Here 4 times 1 is also 4. But out of these two sum and these two multiplication, which one can you add that will give you 4? You know that we said sum is plus. Now which one can we add that will give us plus 4? Add the first one. Plus 2 plus 2 will give you plus 4, as in these two. Add it. Then add these two also. Plus 4 and plus 1. That will be plus 5. Now which one do you think we can use out of these two? You will notice now that you can only use this one. Can use this one. Why? Because plus 2 times plus 2 is equals to plus 4. But plus 1 plus 1 again, that's plus 5. That means in this case we cannot use the second one, we can only use the first one. So that means in solving quadratic, you will find two numbers that if you multiply, it will give you the product. If you add the same number, it will give you the sum. Again, we have already reasoned that the numbers are 2 times 2, 4, and also 4 times 1, which is 4. But it's when I add this one together, plus 2 plus 2, that I'll get 4, which is the sum. So my two numbers now will be the two numbers. So that means my sum is now plus 2 plus 2. Those are the two numbers now, because plus 2 is plus 4, and plus 2 times plus 2 is plus 4. Now this number here, I will replace it with the middle number. That means instead of writing 4x, I will now write this number twice, but I will put s at the back. So that means my next step now, I've known the two numbers now, they are plus 2 and plus 2. So my sum plus 2 plus 2. Now I will now have s squared plus 2, I'll put x, then plus 2, I'll put s. So that means this two number you got, just put x at the back. So that's what we did here. So that means the two number you got will represent the middle number. So since the middle number is 4s, replace it with that your sum. So that means you can easily see plus 2s plus 2s will give you plus 4s. So again, we find the product, two numbers that will give you the product, and the same two numbers, if you add, you get the sum. So now we know it now. The last one is plus 4, so I'll write it plus 4. That's it. So you can always watch the video again to understand the step. So now you will bracket it to 2 like this. That is into 2, bracket the numbers. Now what is common in this first bracket and what is common in this second bracket? We are using HCF of numbers here. So what is common in this first one? You can see that you have x squared here, you have 2x here. That means x is common. Now let me use the principle. If a number is common, it means if x is common here, that means you divide all the numbers by x. That's how you will know what you will have left. That means divide all the numbers here by x. Plus, now what is common here? 2 and 4. The highest common factor, the number that is common highest in the two is 2. That means in 2x and 4, so the number that is common is 2, because highest common factor of 2 and 4 is 2. So now I said if anything is common, divide everything by that number. That means divide this by 2. 2x over 2 plus 4 over 2. So divide everything by anything that is common. So that is how you can know what you will have left. So now you can say that s will cancel out. S will cancel out. 2 here 1, 2 here 1, 2 here 1, 2 here 2. You will say that we'll have x bracket. That means if s should go here, it remain 1s. Plus if s should go here, it will remain 2. Again plus 2. So if 2 cancel out, it remain x. plus if 2 cancel out, it remains 2. Now that's how we know what will remain after something is common. So anything that is common, divide through by that number. Now in solving quadratic, the first thing you need to note is that this number and this term and this term must be the same. If they are not the same in factorization, something is wrong. Now since they are equal, I will have s plus 2, meaning this s plus 2 and this s plus 2, just write one of it. Now after that, open another bracket, then the outside one x and this one plus 2. So that's what you do. Again, you write the first one and this one. Since they are the same, write 1 out of the 2. After that, write the outside one, this one and this one. So now to write down, we have s plus 2. That means we have already factorized. Now this is factorization method. So now if I give you 10 questions or 100 questions on this part, this is the same thing you'll be doing. You find product and you find sum. Then you find the two numbers you can multiply that will give you the product. You find the two numbers that you can the same two numbers that will give you the sum. Now if you can locate the two numbers that give you product and that same two number give you the sum, then you replace it with the middle one, then we factorize. Now let's see another question. Another question. Example: factorize s squared plus 7s plus 10. Now to factorize this one again, so as usual, now just write solution, answer must come. So now we have s squared plus 7s plus 10. Now based on what I've explained in the first example, so now the next thing is what? The next thing is you find your product and you find sum. Now what's the product? The product is you multiply the first term by the last term. That is the same step. Now multiply the first term. Now this is 1. That will be 1s squared times plus 10. That means my product is plus 10s squared. So the first and the last. Now the middle one will represent the sum. That's plus 7s. So that will represent our sum, plus 7x. Now what are the two numbers we can multiply that will give us the product? If we add the same number, we will get the sum. Now like I said, so find all the numbers that can give you 10. So you can find the LCM of 10. Now 2 in 10, 5. Again 5 and 5, 1. That means you just say 2 times 5, which is 10, or 2 times 5, 10. So also 10 times 1, 10. That means the numbers that we can multiply that will give us 10, they are 2 times 5 will give us 10. Also 10 times 1 will give us 10. But out of these numbers, which one can we add together that will give us 7, the sum? So if you add the first one, that is plus 2 plus 5, that is plus 7, as in yeah. Then add the second one, plus 10 plus 1, that's plus 11, this one. So you can easily say now the one that will give us 7 is plus 2 and plus 5, which will give us this 7. So I'm using this one, so I will not use this. So you use the one that will give you the product and the sum at the same time. So in this case, so plus 7s. So the two numbers are plus 2 plus 5. And note, anyone can come first here. If you like, you can say plus 5 plus 2. Any number can come first. It's still the same. So you can use anyone. So now let's proceed. So since we know our two numbers, we'll just replace it with the middle term. The middle term here, that will be s squared plus 2s plus 5s. That is, I replace with these two numbers. I will replace that 7s with that 2. That is by adding, just put x at the back of the number. So now this, if you look at this now, plus 2s, that will be plus 7x. Now plus 10, which is the last one. So after this, you need to bracket it to 2. So bracket the numbers 2 to 1, 2. Leave a sign, then 1, 2. That's it. So now what is common in the brackets? You will notice that s squared is common. X is common here. And I said if anything is common, you divide the rest by that. Since s is common, you divide everything here by x. Plus now highest common factor 5 and 10. So what is common is 5. Then we have 5s over 5 plus 10 over 5. Now it will remain what? So x, you know that one s will cancel out, it will remain x. This one too will cancel out, that will be plus 2. Now plus 5, here too 5 will cancel out, it will remain s. 5 here 1, 5 here 2. Now if you look at this one and this ones are equal. Now I told you it must be the same. Now take 1 out of the 2. This one and this one must be the same. Then take 1, write only 1 out of the 2. Now open a bracket, write the outside one, x plus 5, write it together. So that will be x plus 5. And that is the answer. So you have already factorized. So this is factorization method. Now let's see another question. So we are still using factorization method. So another one, let's say we have 2s squared plus 6s plus 4. Now let's factorize this. 2s squared plus 6s plus 4. So the first thing, again, we have given 2s squared plus 6s plus 4. So now we need to find the products and the sum. So find products and sum. So if you have solved and you understand this better, you can always ignore these parts. You can ignore these parts, product and sum. If you have understand it very well, you can ignore that part, product and sum. So for the product, we multiply the first term by the last term. So that will be 2s squared times 4. That will be 2s squared times 4. That will be plus 8s squared, because 2s squared times plus 4, that is 2 times 4 will give you 8. That is 8s squared. Then the middle one is the sum, and that is plus 6s. This middle one is our sum. You see, we are using the same approach. Now what are the numbers you can multiply that will give you 8? If you add the same number, you get 6. So that means we find all the numbers that can give you 8 if you multiply. As usual, find the LCM. So 2 in 8, 4. 2 again, 2 in 4, 2. 2 again, then 2 in 2, 1. So all the numbers that can give us 8, they are 2 times 4, 8. 8 times 1, 8. Anyhow. So now you can always reverse it to the like. So that means the two numbers are 2 times 4, 8. If I like, I can say 4 times 2. Still the same. So but use only one. 2 times 4 is equals to 8. and again 8 times 1 is equals to 8. These are the numbers that can give us 8. Now out of these numbers, which one can you add together that will give you 6? Now the ones I can add, that means let's add the 2. Plus 2 plus 4 is equals to 6, and plus 8 plus 1 is equals to 9. That means the two numbers are plus 2 plus 4 because it will give us 6. Now we have known the two numbers, so we'll use the two numbers, we'll replace it with the middle number. So this is plus 2 plus 4. Those are the two numbers. Now replace it with the middle number. We have 2x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 4, meaning just add x to the two numbers. So now bracket it 2 2. So always bracket 2 2. Now what is common in this bracket? You will notice that in the number we have 2 2. So in number we have 2, highest common factor. On x also is common, that means 2x is common. And I said if anything is common, divide the rest. That means we have 2x squared over 2 plus 2x over 2 plus here also 4, highest common factor. We have 4 4. So 4 is common. Then we have 4x over 4. As anything that is common, divide the 2 by that number. Then plus 4 over 4. Now 2s is common. Yeah, you see now. So since I said 2s is common, so I will divide this 2 by 2s. Don't forget. So now this will be 2s. Now 2 will cancel out, then s will go, it remains x, plus 2s will cancel out 1, then plus 4. Now 4 will cancel out 2, x plus 4 will cancel out 1. So that means we have this and this are equal. Now I told you it must be the same. So that means we have s plus 1, and also write the outside one, 2x plus 4. So the outside one, that is 2s plus 4. Now that's the answer. So that is factorization method. You find the product and you find sum. And notice I'm using plus since I'll change the sign after this first video, so you can solve another video. I'll do the remaining sign, but for now I focus on plus. Just understand the concepts first. So now let's see another example, but this time around I'm going to put equals to 0 there. So now let's see another question, example. So just example in short. Now solve, but now I will not say factorize, I will say solve. Let's say solve x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0. Now to solve this, x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0. Now that I said solve, you can see I said it's equals to 0. But if I say factorize, then it should not be equals to 0. So that means in this case I'll solve for x, because my question is now equals 0. But because it's equal to 0 does not change anything. So the first thing we still need to do is to find the product and the sum. So solution. So we have given x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0. So now the first thing is what? We find the product. Also find the sum. Now what do we say the products represent? The products represent the first and the last. Here it will be 1s squared times 4. 1s squared times 4 is equals to plus 4s squared, and the middle term is your sum. That means this will be plus 5s. If you notice, all the examples I've been doing, I'm using the same approach, the first and the last, and the middle one is our sum, that is product and sum. Now the next step is what are the two numbers you multiply that will give you 4? If you add it, you will get 5. Now what are the products of 4? So what are the two numbers that will give you 4? Find the LCM. 2 and 4, 2. 2 again, 2 and 2, 1. So that means I can say 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 1, 4. That means the two numbers that can multiply that will give me 4. They are 2 times 2, they give me 4. Also 4 times 1 will give me 4. But out of these two numbers, which one are we going to add that will give us the sum 5? That will be, let's start with plus 2, which is equals to plus 4, as in this first one. Again, plus 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1, which will give us plus 5. That means we have known our product, we have also known the sum. So now this one cannot work because my sum is plus 5. That means I will use this one. I'm using plus 4 plus 1 because it will give me plus 5. Now those are the two numbers. So the two numbers are plus 4 plus 1 because it will give us the 5. So that means I'll say this is s squared plus 5s. So instead of writing this 5s now, I'll write this. So don't forget, that will be plus 4s plus x. You know that is plus 1s, as in. So instead of writing 1s, I can write x. You know, it's like putting s to these numbers. So now 4s plus x, it will replace this one. That is plus 5s. Then the last number plus 4 equals to 0. Then I said bracket it to 2. Now what is common in the brackets? So that means x is common here, and anything that is common, divide everything by that number. Since x is common here, what is common here? You will notice there is no common factor, but we'll say 1. If you can see that nothing is common, like you can't observe any number or alphabet that is common, then say 1 is common, write 1 outside. Then this will be s over 1 plus 4 over 1 equals 0, because I said any number that is common, divide by that number. Later, if you understand this better, you can ignore this part. But let's proceed. So now x, so this one will cancel out, it remains x, plus this one will go plus 4, then plus 1, then this is x plus 4 equals 0. Now what do you notice? Do you see now that this one and this one look alike? So take 1 out of the 2. That will be s plus 4. Then take the outside one. That will be s plus 1. That is x plus 1. So write it here. Then equals to 0. You know, before we stopped here. Why? Because there is no equals 0. Now that we have equals 0, so you will say this question now means is either s plus 4 equals 0, is either this one equals 0. So for this one times this to be 0, it means is either s plus 4 is equals to 0, or s plus 1, or s plus 1 is equals to 0. So if one of the two is 0, then this will be equal 0. So now, is either s plus 4 is 0 or s plus 1 is 0. So anytime you have equal 0, that is what you do from here. Now collect the like terms. And you know, we are collecting like terms. If this is plus, if we cross, it becomes minus. That means s is equals to minus 4, or s is equals to minus 1. Answer. That is if this one to cross. So that will be the answer. Anytime we have solve, it means you should find x. So that's it. But if you are doing objective, you don't need to pass through this stage. If you are doing objective exam, your two numbers are your final answer. Now, what do I mean by that? So let's go back to the question. So the question is x squared plus 5s plus 4 equals 0. Now, what are the two numbers we use here? We say they are plus 4 and plus 1. See it here. So those are the two numbers, plus 4 and plus 1. We just add s to it. So now these two numbers are our final answer. So that means if you find the two numbers, product and sum, if you can get the two numbers, just reverse their sign. That means in this case, s will be equals to, this is plus 4. It will now becomes minus 4. Or, do you know this is plus 1? Change the sign, it will be minus 1. So the plus here will change to minus, the plus here will change to minus. So that means the answer is minus 4 or s equals minus 1. Compare with this now. That's the answer. So that means I don't need to solve everything here before I know my answer in objective case. So if it is objective now, your product and your sum, the two numbers you got for your quadratic, is always your final answer, and you see it's the same as this. Chasing out the two factors is my final answer, but I just change the sign, I interchange it. So let's see another question. Yeah, let's solve another question. So let me add coefficients to it. So let me clear the numbers. Okay, another example now. Solve 3s squared plus 7s plus 4 equals 0. So now this is another question. Solve 3s squared plus 7s plus 4 equals 0. So that means given 3s squared plus 7s plus 4 equals 0. So the first thing, we'll find products and we'll find sum. So what is your product? Multiply the first by the last. That will be 3s squared times plus 4. That will be plus 12s squared, meaning 3 times 4, 12. Then the middle one is our sum. That means the sum is plus 7x. Now, what are the numbers you can multiply that will give you plus 12? If you add, you get plus 7. And if you look at all my workings, they are still the same pattern. So now, find the LCM of 12. 2 in 12, 6. So 2 in 6, 3. 3 in 3, 1. So this is our normal LCM. So now, to find all the product of 12 is easy now. That will be 2 times 6 will give you 12. Again, 12 times 1 will give you 12. Again, 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 3 will also give you 12. That's how you can combine the numbers, so you can know the products and the sum. So now, if all this will give us 12, 12, 12, and 12. Now, which one of these will add together to give us 7? So let's do it one by one. The first one, we have plus 2 plus 6, which will give us plus 8, and it's 2 times 6 is 12. The second one, plus 12 plus 1, which will give us plus 13. Third one, plus 4 plus 3, which will give us plus 7. That means out of these three is this one I will use. Why? Because it's the one that can give me the sum, which is plus 7. So I will ignore this two. So the same number that you multiply that will give you product is the same number that you should add that will give you sum. Don't change the numbers. So let's proceed. That means I've known the two numbers now. So I've known the two numbers. They are plus 4 plus 3. So I will now have 3 s squared plus, now instead of writing this middle one, I will just put s to the number so that it becomes plus 4s plus 3s. Then the last number, that will be plus 4 equals to 0. So now the next thing is what? Bracket it to 2. So leave a sign 2. Now what is common in this bracket? If you look at this bracket, you see nothing is common. But remember here, I said any number can come first. If you like, you can say 3s plus 4s. Any number can come first. So what is common here? 3 and 4. What is common? Nothing, but we say 1, abi. S square and s, what is common? You can see that is x. That means in this case, x is common. So I said anything that is common, divide the rest. So you can easily know what we have left. 4s over x. Then plus 3. Plus, you have 3s and 4. What is common? Nothing. But we can say 1 is common. That will be 3s over 1 plus 4 over 1 equals to 0. Now it will remain x bracket. Now 1s will go. It will remain 3s plus 4 plus 1. This one too will be 3s plus 4 because it's over 1. So can ignore that. Equals to 0. What do you notice now? This number here and this number here are equal. Since they are equal, just take 1 out of the 2. So that means I'll take 3s plus 4, as in this one. I'll write 1 out of the 2. Then the outside one, x plus 1. So that will be x plus 1, as in s plus 1. So that will be the next one here. Then equals to 0. Normally, if it is not equal 0, you can stop here. But because it is equals to 0, you have to proceed. That means in this case, I can say for these two numbers, this one times this to be equals to 0. That means is either 3s plus 4 equals 0, this one, or the second one, s plus 1 is equals to 0. So now find s, collect like terms. So 3s is equals to minus 4. This is plus. By going there, it will be minus. Or s is equals to minus 1. As in this one to cross, it will be minus. So you can divide both sides here. Divide both sides by 3. By this number, because we are looking for x. So you divide both sides by 3. Or s is equals to minus 1. So 3 will cancel out. So s is equals to minus 4 over 3, or s is equals to minus 1. Answer. Now if you want to use, we are true like this, that is the answer. But if it is objective exam, you don't need to pass through all this. If you pass through all this, it's wasting of time. So now you have known your two products. Let's see the question again. We have s squared, 3s squared plus 7s plus 4 equals 0. Now if you look at it, our two numbers, our two product and sum, they are plus 4 and plus 3. Yeah, those are the two numbers we use, abi, plus 4 and plus 3, and that will be our final answer. Now I told you. So if you have this now, I said you will change the sign. This plus will change to minus. So that means I will have plus 4 over I said change the sign. That means plus will change to minus. That will just be minus 4 or minus 3, as in these two. So minus 4 minus 3 normally should be the answer, but look at your question. There is coefficient of 3. The first one, the one I solved, that I use this method, as in s squared plus 5s plus 4. The coefficient here is 1. That's why I leave that one like that. But in this case, the coefficient of s is 3. That means I will divide my two results by 3. As in, after you change the sign, just divide by the coefficients here. Since the coefficient is 3, divide both by 3. So that means this will become my s is minus 4 over 3 or minus 1, because 3 will cancel out. So and that will give you this result direct, as in this one. So x is minus 4 over 3 or s is minus 1. So that means without solving all this, we can easily know our answer from the two factors. So again, the two factors, change the sign or minus 3, then divide by the coefficients there. So that will just be minus 4 over 3 or minus 1 answer. So we started with our question. So now this is plus plus so far. So watch this video and understand this concept. If you understand the concept, you can ask question in the comments box. So you can try this so that you will use this to check your understanding. So you can ask question in the comment box. Now in my next video, I'll do minus. For this video, everything I did is plus plus, so I'll do minus in my next video. So your own, solve the following. Let's say factorize the following. Note, we are still using factorization method. Now factorize the following. Number 1, 3s squared plus 10s plus 7. So no equals 0. I said factorize. So number 2, s squared plus 6s plus 5. Now I can change all the alphabet from s to any other alphabet, but I focus on s first. In my next video, I'll combine everything together and solve, since we have the concepts here. So now the next one is solve. That is 1. Solve the following. You can leave your answer in the comments box. Solve the following. Number 1, 3s squared plus 8s plus 5 is equals to 0. Number 2, s squared plus 10s plus 9 equals 0. So now you can use both. This one is factorized. You should know how to factorize, and this one is solved. That means you are looking for x. You can try the short method too after you solve. So leave your comment, answer, or any complaint or any question in the comment box, so I will reply. Thank you.